So about 6:30, so we'll start the regular city council meeting of City of Starbuck for September 12th, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you'd call a roll, please, Joan.
Mayor Swenson.
Here.
Councilor Gorder is absent. Councilor Tate.
Here.
Councilor Bachl. Here. Councilor Hanson. Here.
Okay. The first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda, consent agenda. And I just noticed one.
I have a couple things.
Oh, you have a couple? Why don't you go ahead and.
Okay. We were just going to, from when you got your original agenda, we're adding, Linda Hoffman, is added to it for a discussion. And also, the League of Minnesota Insurance Liability Waiver for 2023. And we also need to make a change to a motion on the minutes, under the police department, August 8th. I need to change the motion for the dangerous dog, that the motion was made by Mayor Swenson and seconded by Chris Tafe.
So, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
As amended, I assume.
Yes.
We have a motion by Councilman Tafe to approve the consent agenda as amended, seconded by Councilwoman Bachl. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is we have a public hearing on the subdivision of parcel 27-0538-000 at 415 East Second Street in Starbuck. So I'm going to open the public hearing at 6:32, and if there's any public comments or any questions, please come forward and identify yourself. Okay, any questions or anything by the council? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing at 6:33 and continue with the regular council meeting. And the next item on the agenda is we have Fred Anderson here with the Minnewaska Lake Association, and he has some comments about their desires for a lighthouse. So you can come forward, Fred. So, yeah, use that mic. We got to record this.
So the Lake Association is concerned about the lighthouse. I talked to Gary and I talked to Ted, and apparently so far we have not, or you guys have not received a bid on the lighthouse. You did put in a bid, or you didn't?
We have an older bid, but we're seeking another bid on.
We're waiting for bids to come in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Lake Association is, we want to be in on the program, and we want to help with the lighthouse. We want to make a donation for the lighthouse as soon as we can get some, get some information on it, when it's going to be done and how much it's going to cost. And then we can, make a bid between, we'll work it up in the Lake Association, how much we can give you guys.
Okay.
Hopefully, it'll be a substantial amount.
Okay. Okay.
And I did look for that weed I talked to you about
Oh,
in the marina.
uh-huh,
It's not starry stonewort,
okay,
but I tried to find it on the computer, and I couldn't quite identify it.
okay,
But it's not starry stonewort in the marina there, so
okay,
we don't have to worry about that.
okay. Just following up on that, you know, I've talked to, you know, the Lake Association, Mike Stye, and he says that you had divers out in front of the marina and have identified some starry stonewort outside
We
of the
did,
marina.
on- On the north side of the marina.
Mhm.
And I guess we found it in about 16, 18 feet of water.
Uh-huh.
There is some starry stonewort there. Lakes Restoration is not going to spray for us this year.
Mhm.
So at this time, the Lake Association does not have a company to spray for us.
Mhm.
So we are still working on that.
Okay. Is Lake Restoration out completely, or?
They, apparently what they told us is they are working full-time at Coronas
Mhm.
in Painesville. And they had like a $800,000 program going on there to spray the lake,
Mhm.
is what I understand.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
hopefully we won't get into that,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
we're gonna do our best to get the starry stonewort right away. And
So hopefully next spring, perhaps?
well, I think Mike is out of town, but I think he's working out. I think we're trying to get somebody to spray yet this year.
Oh, okay,
So if not, if it gets too late in the year,
Mhm.
then we'll be looking at next spring.
okay. Yeah, I kind of got the impression from him that was going to be next spring, but, you know, I guess sooner the better, but.
Yeah.
So, in talking with Mike, you mentioned Coronas is spending about $800,000 a year on removing starry stonewort in the marine, or in the lake. And also their property values have apparently dropped by, you know, almost 60% or,
I can see
Whatever.
that, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to a lake that's got starry stonewort, that's,
so,
but
okay.
it's probably gonna spread around. It's, you know, it's just one of those things
Mhm.
that is hard to avoid.
So,
It's
Matter
kinda-
of containing it, I think.
It's
probably.
kind of like the zebra mussel. Now, the
Right.
zebra mussel seems to be going down.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have mentioned that there's no zebra mussels on their dock like it used to be when they pull them out. So we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah, okay. Well, we certainly appreciate the Lake Association's willingness to contribute to the Lighthouse project, and
Yep, we
we'd
want
like to
we
see
want to
it back
donate
up
to it. So
ourselves. So,
we think it's kind of an important thing. So
mhm.
We've heard comments of, you know, people at night going into the marina there, and
Uh-huh.
it's very hard.
It's very hard to see,
See,
especially when you're used to having that
Yes.
bright,
Yep.
beautiful light. Yeah,
yeah,
we miss it too.
if you get a foggy night and you're out on a lake, you can very easily get lost out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, Fred.
Okay, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
So, um, Next on the,
stay the whole time.
Thank you.
thank you. Next on the agenda is Jill Amundson from West Central Initiative, and she wants to give us an overview of their services. So,
I'll just do
Hi,
a
Jill.
quick update. Hello, good evening.
good evening.
I left a giant envelope of information at each of your seats. We usually bring something similar, but I wanted to just do a quick drive-through. Our strategic framework is on the left-hand side, and our annual report is behind that. I represent the planning half of our organization, which is on the left side of your folder. There's just an insert there that talks about our representation as the regional development organization for the region. We are federally funded to provide that type of planning service to the 9-county region. You'll notice on the inside back cover what we've done in the last year, and on the very back side there, what that federal designation has meant to our region. It just makes us all eligible for those federal economic development grants that come through. And I did bring information from the other half of the organization, which is our foundation, just some grants that have been happening in the last couple of years. We were able to serve as the DEED Small Business Relief Granting Organization. They appointed us to do that. There were 3 grants within the city of Starbuck, totaling $10,000 each, so $30,000. We had 5 child care emergency grants go out at $1,000 each to cover some of those emergency supplies as they were dealing with COVID. And 4 DEED COVID relief specific grants at $10,000 each. And then there were also a number of loans, which totaled $45,670. Those were 4 loans, and I apologize, my director called out as I was on my way here that said, the tavern didn't make your list.
Oh.
So that happened in July. That loan was also from WCI. Our contribution helped to make that happen, and that will be not listed here.
Do you know how much that was?
I don't, I'm sorry to say. Like I said, I was literally on my cell phone on the way here. He's like, make sure you talk about the tavern.
Okay.
But I will leave this list with Jones. You can take a full look at those details if you're interested.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions that I can answer?
Any questions?
Sounds good.
I guess not. Thank you, Jill. Next on the agenda, we have Nick Coos from Woodseth to talk about the 2020 road project.
Yep. Hi, I'm Nick Coos with Woodseth. I don't have a lot to report. We did get a hold of MnDOT earlier this week, or end of last week, and asked about the status of the concrete rework, and they said it should be happening soon. I know when we had reached out to them before, they said it would be a couple weeks, which was a couple weeks ago, so sounds like whatever schedule they've worked out with the contractor, they're still kind of on schedule to get that work done. So
What are they thinking this year yet?
yeah, they're still thinking this year is what the report that Larry gave me anyway. So,
Because until that's done, we can't do any assessment hearings or anything.
yeah, correct. We'll have to get the project finalized.
I know there's some people that have money being held in escrow because they sold their house and they have probably more money in escrow than what the assessment would be, so.
Okay,
So
yeah,
we're getting
well,
some complaints.
I'm sure that you probably are, for that particular issue. Yeah, we'll keep working on them and see if we can get it closed out. It's the best we can do. And then, Joan had asked about the crosswalk by the DQ. I'll look into that too. The crosswalk, markings, they were there before the project, but not after. I can't remember offhand if they had showed new crosswalk blocks going in by the DQ or if they were leaving them off. So I'll take a look at the plans and see what they had on the plan set and if they were supposed to go back or not.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Any questions or anything?
Was there
For
any
Nick?
more talk about a crosswalk up or a light up by the beach? Has that kind of been dropped in the thought somewhere?
it wouldn't be part of that project, but if you'd like us to look into that, we sure can.
Just know that there was a concern for a while, not having a crosswalk down there. And
Sure. You're talking where the new trail is? I know I looked at possibly getting some, the state would participate on lighting, and that's at, I believe at 50%, as long as you're using standard lighting, not decorative lighting. And then for the crosswalks, yeah, I'd have to take a look at that again. But, I think I did look at that a while ago. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I think at the time it was like cost prohibitive, it was gonna
Right,
cost
and it
quite a
was-
bit, yeah.
The costs were.
It was all with MinDOT, and so, yeah,
Yeah.
kinda got
Yep.
a screecher on it, but hadn't heard anything.
Yeah, we'd have to go through the permit process, but they said it was possible. When we were doing the trail project, we looked into it. And then we just opted not to add that into the
Right,
trail
everything
project,
else
cause it
is
would have
fine.
been, cause it would have been a lot of additional cost.
Understood.
But we can always revisit that. I have some of the
Just thought I'd
numbers on
throw
it.
it out there and see if there was ever anything else that came up.
Yeah, I guess I didn't receive any guidance to proceed forward with looking into it some more, but we do have some numbers together for it, so if we ever wanna dig back into it, we sure can,
I don't know
and I
if
can
anybody else
resurrect
is
that.
interested in that too, but just a safety measure to be down there.
Sure, has there been any issues that you know of? Sometimes that's a trigger for
No,
MinDOT if
was
there's been,
striping part of that project, or is striping the crosswalks and everything?
oh, yeah, we had looked at that piece of it too. What was it that they said? Yeah, if you wanted to do the striping, then you'd have to do the lighting. That was the deal there as well. So if you wanted to make it a more formal, dedicated all the time crossing, it needed to have the lighting and then also and then we looked into the lighted bordered signs. And I don't know if MinDOT, we looked at maybe doing push button ones versus ones that just flashed all the time when it was dark.
Yeah.
Cause there's a few different options when it comes to those. So, yeah, I still have that information if we wanna circle back to that at some point. I can pull that up, and
I know we have a lot on our plate now, and the season
Yeah.
is pretty much over, but
it's something to talk about over winter, I guess, if you're interested in that. Absolutely. It's kind of a good time just to talk about new projects, I guess. It wouldn't have to be one for next year, but, you know, we can be looking down the road further than that, too, if you need be. Yep, absolutely.
thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Nick.
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Linda Hoffman to discuss a project she's interested in.
I'm gonna hand these out.
Some handouts.
Okay, this one has a picture.
Is that the same that you sent me an email?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can print it from there.
All right, Linda Hoffman, beach supervisor, concerned parent, or just a community member as well. A couple things, as I've had quite a few requests during the last few years about trying to get a wheelchair accessible ramp to the water. You know, there's people that come down there with disabilities, MS, and they're bound to their wheelchair, and it's all ages, of course. And so I thought we should be inclusive at the beach. We have tried carrying wheelchairs to the water, so the kids or adults can touch the water. We have, and very hard to do. And so I've been researching a Moby mat that I handed out to you. It's Woodlike or a Blue Jay. It's a roll-up, and you can, a variety of sizes. And I've seen this at beaches in Florida or California where they have more of a cement ramp because it's year-round, because it's warmer year-round. And I've found something that would be more accessible because of our Four Seasons that would be a little bit more conducive to Pope County and to our beach, is this Moby mat, or if we could find another, that's fine too. But as an example, that we would roll this out for the edge of the bike path. Roll it out near the horseshoe, or the H dock, as I call it. And then people who want to touch the water, want to feel the water, then their caregiver or their parent or whatever can push them to the water. You know, and so I've talked to some community organizations, and they're receptive to have our beach inclusive for everybody. Not, you know, and so they were interested in helping out if the city is looking for donations or concerns like that. So the Moby mat for wheelchair accessible, because it's very, very hard to and make it inclusive for everybody. And I think in 2022 here, we need to start thinking about everybody that lives in our county and the state of Minnesota who comes to visit our beach. And it's a beautiful beach, and they should all have access to touch the water and feel the water. The next thing, any questions on the Moby Mat for the beach access?
Does this go partway into the water?
It does not go partway. You could put it into the water as well, yeah. You know, because we all know the lake rises and drops considerably during the course of the,
I was just thinking about somebody in a wheelchair if they wanted to go out in the water a little ways.
yep, I've seen that happen.
So-
Yeah, and I've seen like, you know, the big ramps with their cement, and they have the railings going all the way down as well, you know. But that was more of a, you know, more of a California, Florida, because you don't have to worry about the concrete.
The ice would,
Yeah,
Take
it
care
would
of
not be
that.
good for us.
Have you actually seen these?
Yes, yeah.
Are they stiff?
Um,
Do they fold up? Do
they
up?
roll up. It's, you know, it's a heavy, it's not really super heavy, but it's sturdy. And so when I walked on it and you know, it's sturdy to hold, you know, people pushing a wheelchair down it. It doesn't cave in, it doesn't, so it's a good material. Like a path. Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. So that's, yeah, and it looks better on the internet too, if you wanna, there's a link, but, if you wanna
Is
take
this
a.
something that you just leave out for the
All
season?
summer?
and
Yep.
then-
Yep, and then we could roll it up in September or October or whenever the first snow flies.
I was thinking about the people that rake the beach too, you know.
Right,
We might have to roll it up so that.
yeah,
they
oh,
can
absolutely,
rake the
absolutely.
beach
Or,
and-
yeah, and I think it's rollable that, you know, when you and a few others have taken the grader out there, as I call it, the grader, disc or whatever, to fluff up the beach, yeah, it's movable. And that's what I was kinda thinking about too. And I was kinda thinking about right by the beach house, right down there, so it's, you know, it's parking lot, they take the bike path, then they can go on the Moby Mat. Yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah, so that's what I was kinda thinking,
Would we be looking at like a 50-foot? Do we need the longest one?
I would
the
believe
area?
so. I believe so. I'm not really good on my feet, but, 33 to 50 would probably be ideal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we could measure, you know, to get the exact. So, 50 probably would be best, just because of the up and down of the water levels. So that was my Moby Mat. And then, with all our festivals back in action, and our parks are full, we got people coming to town, and we got visitors, and we've had a busy August and July. It's been wonderful to see people visiting our parks and our beaches and our downtown. I've had a couple requests from, parents and, community members about, at our playground, our swing set, about having kids that have disabilities and can't sit in the conventional U-shape swing, or they're too old to do the baby swing. We have this at the middle school and the high school at their park, I believe, and if not, we also have it at the elementary over in Glenwood. I don't know about Glacial Hills, but, they designate, one for people who cannot use a traditional swing seat. So I just gave two versions, and, one is, and I went through AAA, State of Play, accessible. So that is something, you can look at as well. Everybody should be allowed to swing as a child. And so, once again, looking at the inclusive part of highlighting what's good for everybody would be a swing that would support kids who needs a little extra help on the swing set. You know, from your grandkids to your own personal children, your nieces and nephews who come to visit from out of town, you want them to have access to swing just like any other kid. So both of them are between 2 to 12 years of age. There are adult swings as well, but I was just looking at the 2 to 12, because most of that's the age group where kids swing. So, pretty self-explanatory about the type of swings. Once again, I do have, some interested organizations that would be willing to, donate to the city if you choose to, purchase, for next spring. I would think this would be a next spring thing. So something to think about and dialogue between the organizations and the city of Starbuck. So, anybody have any questions?
I know this one, on the second page,
Mhm.
it says for children weighing under 125 pounds.
Right.
Do you know what the other one is rated for?
I believe that the other one, the more of the longer one, that's also probably 125 pounds. It's pretty standard, 125 pounds, I'm pretty sure. Kids who are 130 aren't in as well. But, yeah, typically it's been 125, 2 to 12 years. ADA compliant, meets, all that. So, and I should, I was going to meet with my special ed director just to go over to, just to see if that was, make double checked what she thought of these two. But these are the ones that we have at at one of the elementaries and I think at the middle school too. So,
Okay.
so those are my two requests. You guys can think about.
Any other questions from council?
On that voting mat, how thick is it?
That is a good question. It didn't say, I would be curious to find out. I would say an inch and a half.
So,
Do you have some?
I've just seen something like that, but what they did is they actually solicited the schools, and they took the old wrestling mat, and they cut it into a strip, and they sealed the ends, and it was able to be used for that.
Oh, wow.
So, something to think about too.
Right,
Because they change the wrestling mats out every so often.
right, they do, yeah.
Well, there's a company that refurbishes them, so maybe you could even get one before it gets even refurbished, if that would still be in good shape.
Yeah,
I was-
sure, thanks.
I was just thinking about the,
Yeah,
I was just thinking about the thickness too. And
yeah,
what if you rolled it up, what the weight of it would be,
right, and I
Try
can
and
look at
move
that.
it.
I saw it rolled up and looked pretty efficient, and I think because of the wood slats or the Blue Jay slats, it conforms to roll nice. Not as nice as a yoga mat, but it does roll really nice, and then they have a strap to close it, boom, and then you're done, so. It wasn't obnoxious roll, sometimes when you roll it up, you're like, oh boy, never gonna take that apart again. But it was a very efficient roll, so I think with the slats and how they conform as you roll them, I think it looked to me like it rolled in a nice bundle.
Are the slats molded in, or is it attached to?
Attached to each other, you mean? From one slat to
No,
another?
to the mat itself? or-
Yeah, they're attached, but they have little gaps in between here.
It looks like nylon straps.
Yeah.
Hold
You're right, yes.
Is
Yep.
this a picture of one or
crossbars.
two of them side by side?
One, they're 5 feet wide.
Okay, so they're pretty wide.
Yeah, 5 feet wide,
Nice.
yeah, to give that support.
Yeah.
Cause you never know with the sand underneath, it gives way and, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you could have that as a base, right. Some type of, yeah. Right. Yeah, it'd be really close to the sidewalk that we have in front of the beach house, you put it right down
More
there.
accessible.
Yeah, more accessible, So, something to think about in the off-season. Yeah,
Okay.
all right, any questions? All right, well, thank you.
Well, thank you, Linda. Oh, it's- Okay. I don't, next on the agenda was an update on the lease with Pope County Solid Waste Recycling Center. that still is not resolved between the attorneys, so I don't have much to say on that. Hopefully, we can get it done yet, and get something going this fall before next year. And, so that's about all I had on that. I guess next on the agenda is the, police, Chief Mitch Johnson, so.
Okay, for the month of July, we had, or I should say, August, I think it says July, should have been August. We had 174 calls for service, and we had 237 in July, so calls went down a little bit, so it's been a little slower, which is good. We did hold this kids safety camp. Ryan did that, did an excellent job. I think they had 37 kids, and they had several activities, several businesses that helped out with the safety camp. So I heard a lot of good things, and it's been growing, so it's good. But they had a lot of good things coming back from that. So, and all that stuff from safety camp that you spend it's all donated money that we do. So it's nothing that comes out of the budget that we have. So it's all donations. Other than that, is anybody? I mean, we had a couple DUIs. We had a SWAT call. Other than that, do you guys have any questions on calls for service? Okay. All right. Well, the next thing I'll talk about is the squad situation. So we did get bids. I think last time I showed you bids for the new squad, and we looked at it was the state bid for 1040 Ford, which I would just looked at and maybe get an approval to purchase that. I was tried to get the hard number. I think the last bid we had was like 42,000, but then when I submitted it, they had to add a couple equipment here and there, and then their bidding or their final, whoever does their numbers, got COVID. They were supposed to get me the final numbers today, so they said it can maybe roughly around 45 just to be safe, but it could probably be less than that, so 45,000. I think first one was at 42, but I think just to be safe, just maybe go less than that. Because they couldn't give me a straight final number. I'd rather just be above it than below it, so. That would be for a 2023 Ford Explorer Interceptor. That we get, that was the lowest bid, otherwise if you go outside the state bid, it jumps quite drastically, so.
I don't know if everybody's aware that both squads were out of service.
Yeah, so we have, we have major issues with the squads. Luckily, so we had the Durango has been out for over a month and a half. It's waiting for parts that are in back order. Supposedly, I called them last week, Valley Ford, and they said it's supposed to be in this week, but they said cross your fingers because they can't guarantee that's going to happen. Glenwood just had the same issue, not Glenwood, Pope County Sheriff's Office had the same squad, same issue, and they waited 3 months to get their squad. And then last week, the Charger starter went out, so we had no squads. So it's a huge concern. They got it fixed about a day and a half. And I want to thank the city of Glenwood and the Glenwood Police Department. They did a memorandum of understanding. They have one of their squads they don't use quite frequently. They're letting us borrow it. So if you see a squad that says Glenwood PD, it's got a little badge out there. We're using that until we're up and running. The fear is we're down to one squad, and that squad is running around the clock. Is that it's not good for the squad, and the fear is that something's if we happens again and we run down to no squads, I don't want to be using personal cars and constantly borrowing vehicles. So I think the biggest thing and piece we need to do is add some additional squads to alleviate, because these two squads basically run around the clock. They don't get a break. They're outside all year. So getting the new squad, and then as I was having this squad issue, I was talking with the Fergus Falls Police Department, and they have a used squad, that's fully, got all the equipment in it except for your radio, your computer system, and your mobile, your body cam, your mobile cam. But they have a one that's a 2018 Ford Explorer with only 68,000 miles on it. But they would give it to us for 9,500. And I think that would help alleviate some of the stress of just not having a squad. And, I mean, we could pick it up this week, we could pick it up whenever, until those new squad gets in at least. Cause that's not gonna be till February, March, if that. And with the way things have been going with the squads, we've had a squad in their shop, I think, every month. And it's in 2 or 3 days, and we're stretched, and if a big call comes, or one goes down, and then we're down to no squads. So, the first thing I would like to do is just kind of pass, is to get that new squad, the 2023 order, and then the bid to outfit it, that's with all brand-new equipment, was about $19,000, $19,119.10. That would replace, and those costs would come out in 2023. Those would not, we wouldn't get those, that would be 2023 budget, both for the 2023 squad and for the install. And then the other things that we have is all of our body cams and mobile cams we're using WatchGuard, and they've basically gone downhill. The company, we have some issues with the body cams. 3 of our body cams aren't working right now. They're working, but they don't download some videos. Been waiting over 2 months just to get new ones. They were ordered. We've called them, I don't know how many times. They will return your calls. We've waited 3 weeks just to get a call returned. So we can't do that. We can't operate that way. So I'm looking at just getting a new body cams and mobile cams for the squads we have. For the 2 squads now, and then one would be for the new squad coming in. So I got a bid from Code 4, who does all our install, and it's called GTAC, is the company that sells the mobile. And so it's considerably a lot cheaper than WatchGuard. WatchGuard would probably run us for that whole install, probably around $40,000. For the whole replacement of all cameras and the install is about $16,000. So considerably a lot cheaper than going with WatchGuard. Yeah, they are, and Glenwood PD is using it right now. I've looked at it, and we had a Chiefs conference last year, and I talked to the rep, and they showed us the equipment, and it does just exactly what our equipment does now. It's cheaper. It's Motorola. So what happened with WatchGuard is Motorola bought out WatchGuard, and I don't know if Motorola had their own body cams at the time, so I don't know if they're just kind of trying to dissolve WatchGuard. But it seems that way.
Last body cams last.
We've had those for probably almost 8 years, 8, 9, 10 years.
Okay.
So the problem is now the body cams will burn out. You can only use them for like a half a day, then you got to charge them. We only have 3, and then you're having all these issues with them. Can't get camera video off, and then I got to send them in, and then now it's like I said, I've been waiting on 2 new cameras, and it's been over a month, and usually you'd be there the next day, and they still haven't shown up. So, but anyways, so my thought is if we can wait to purchase, it's up to you, to just alleviate some of the costs for the body cam and mobile, we could do that this year. And instead of having a bigger amount coming out in 2023 for all 3 items, and then we would pay for that this year. Once they came in, you'd have to pay for it. But going again to the install, they would replace the WatchGuard out of the 2 squads we have now, and then when the new one came in, they would put the new one in. And then if we were to get this 2018 Explorer, I would just take one of those WatchGuard units, since we've bought and paid for them, and just use those in that squad, and that would alleviate the cost of buying a new fresh, and it's gonna be a squad that would be used for SRO or just going to trainings, if we just had a big event, undercover work, stuff like that. But I think that would be our best options. But so I guess with that, if you guys have any other questions for me regarding anything, if you need more explanation.
Any questions?
You know, I can give you a ride. I mean, it may not be the ride you want, but.
What you wish for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Mitch, I have a question.
Yes.
You said the watch guard or whatever, so have you already paid for that? So when you put what you presently have in, if they got that used car from Fergus, there's no additional charge, you've already
Just
paid?
for the install, just be the install.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the service, right? It's
Nope,
not-
we started to have the software and everything, it'd just be transferring that camera to a different.
Okay, just wanted to be, that's
Yep.
what I thought you
Yep.
meant, but I wanted to.
Yeah, so
double check.
I would just transfer one of these used one, and then we would have, the nice thing is that we have two of them.
Yep,
So if one goes down, I don't have to worry about warranty on it, I just replace it, put the other one in,
got it,
so.
thanks.
But, so I guess, and I don't know how you wanna do this, if you wanna, do this all as one, or do it all separate.
Well, I think first of all, the quote for new vehicle, we should probably, do that first, and, so I know, I'd like to make a motion that we, go with the 1040 Ford quote and pursue that, squad.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by myself and Councilman Tafe to pursue the purchase of a new squad car from 1040 Ford, and at a price of up to $45,000, possibly less, so. Any questions on that or concerns? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I think, secondly, the Charger is in service now, huh?
It's back in service now, yes, not gonna,
Okay.
yes, it's back and running. So we have the Charger, and then we have the Glenwood PD squad they're letting us use until we can figure
Yeah.
out the situation.
I should remind everybody, if Glenwood PD needs their squad, they have the right
Right,
to
take it
take
back.
it back right away.
Yeah, we did a
you know, so-
memorandum of understanding with them, and, yeah, that's one of the conditions,
So,
so.
so as far as the 2018 Ford Explorer in Fergus Falls, that's, I believe, something that we should entertain also.
I would make the motion that we pursue getting the 18 Explorer as well.
Has that been in an accident or anything like?
No,
No.
it's perfect, it's good, great condition, 68,000. It just sits in their sits in their heated garage,
Okay, so there's anything bad there?
so.
Okay.
It was a win-win, I mean, with all the equipment in it, lights and everything, I mean, that's a lot of money. So that's a pretty good deal, I thought, so.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? So we have a motion by Councilman Tafe to approve the purchase of a 2018 Ford Explorer from Fergus Falls PD, seconded by Councilwoman Balko. Anything further? Hearing nothing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And I guess last would be the replacement of the body cameras and mobile cameras and so forth, so.
Yeah, you have two actually left. You have the outfit for the squad, and then you have the mobile cam. So 2023 would be the outfit of the squad, because you wouldn't do that until the squad came in. So,
I'll make the motion to approve outfitting the squad with Code 4.
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have a motion by Councilman Tafe to pursue the Code 4 equipment, of 3 mobile cameras and 4 body cameras, and seconded by Councilwoman Hanson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I think that was just for the outfitting squad, and then there'd be a separate one for the body cams.
I'm talking about the,
Yeah.
the 16,
So, yep, so the outfitting was the squad's the 19,000.
19,000.
That's, if you see that box, did I give you a box below there? No?
Yep.
Yeah, so if you go the coat, the outfit, that'd be the 19,000, that's just outfitting the squad. And then the cost for the body cams and the other mobiles would be 16. And we would do that.
but the install wouldn't happen
Yeah,
till next
the
year.
install wouldn't happen, no, but I'm just saying the install's different from the whole body cam and all the mobiles. They're two different things.
Well, I think we have to wait on the install to see when the vehicle comes in, you know, so.
He's gotta order all the stuff, so if I wait, then he's not gonna have it when the vehicle comes in. So that's why we would need to, if we're gonna get the squad, we'd have to approve the install, so it's here when the squad gets here.
Okay.
Have they estimated when?
And that'd be 2023. That's the new
Sometime.
squad, yeah, I mean, could be January.
45 for the,
So the 45 for
Explorer
the
and then
Interceptor, and then the Code 4 outfit of the squad. That's putting new
Those are
lights, all that gear, equipment. And then, yep, that would be together, really. But they're
So-
separate, but they're together.
Basically, if all this is approved, we'd end up with 4 fully equipped squads.
Correct.
Do we need 4 fully equipped squads?
We do right now. I do, I mean, I need 3 right now for sure. I need, I do need that, yeah.
Well, I think we were talking about 3, you know, and,
Yep. So, yeah.
Now we're going to 4.
we having trouble with that Durango? Is it worth?
No,
keeping
so,
around?
yeah, we're going to 4, so we have the 3 right now, and that 2018 would help us get by until we can get a new squad. It would, generally, yes, the 4 would be ideal to have instead of 3. But, yeah, that's where we're going, I mean, right now, once we get the new squad, we would have 4.
And then would you sell one, or?
We could sell or just see where we're at. I mean, if it's working out, or just use it, like I said, we could use it to go to trainings. We have a squad that go to trainings. The 3 that we could have is to rotate through shifts. So you could have a day car, and then you could have the night car, one just used strictly for nights, and one just for days. And then the SRO could have a squad, and then you got one for backup if something goes down. I mean, for 9,500, I think it's kind of a no-brainer, but we definitely need it's that time for the turnout, so definitely would
So,
we'd use all 4, they wouldn't be sitting there.
With all the issues that we've been having
Yeah.
with our squads, I think to have a spare around is a good idea.
Yeah.
Right.
And for the 9,500, it's not a big investment into a spare.
okay. Okay,
This is all looking to go towards 2022 budget though?
So, no, this is the
So those 2 items. are
Explorer and the
2023.
outfit, the Explorer and the outfit would be in 2023,
Okay,
okay? And that's why I said like the mobile and the body cams, if we wanted to offset that, is to purchase them this year.
Right.
And then,
with the Ford Explorer from
Yep.
Fergus.
that way you're not having such a, you could
So
offset it.
there's a split.
Yep.
yeah, that's what I thought was happening, but then I got the impression that we were doing everything this year or whatever.
No, I think
So-
we were just trying to push it, because I didn't know when the squad would come, so I'm just saying once, yeah, so I'm just saying for the outfit of it, you might as well put that into 2023, and not, because you're not gonna pay for it until 2023, because it's not gonna happen until 2023. But he's gotta start ordering the parts, otherwise you'll be sitting for another year waiting for parts.
Okay. Okay. So we have a motion and a second.
Yep, so we would just be, yep. And we would just need a motion on this last one here with
Okay,
the
yep.
mobile and body cams.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
So, okay.
And then I'll make the motion to approve the mobile and body cams from G-Tech.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Tave to approve the G-Tech Video Solutions cameras. I guess I got that right. Seconded by Councilwoman Balco. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
That's all I have, unless you guys have any other questions for me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is water and sewer and a lean-to addition to the city garage. And I know, Joan, if you wanted to talk about that, or?
Yeah, Randy is out today, so we have two bids for that. One can be done this year, one, they would need to wait till next year. If you wait till next year, it's a little bit cheaper. So, they're not here to tell me. I tried, yeah, so,
So it's about $2,500 difference in the quotes. So,
I mean, you could make a motion to do it and let them decide if they need it this year or not, or wait.
well, yeah, it's for storing the equipment and keeping it under shelter, you know. Whether they definitely need it this year or not, I'm not sure. I guess I don't have any input on that. Well, Randy and Mike, yeah. Randy's not here this week, so.
I think it's important to note that it's using the steel that was able to be saved from the old
Yes.
building too, so the costs aren't as high as they would be.
Right. They're reusing what they could from the wastewater plant when they repaired it after the storm.
So that's a nice save of materials.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can wait and talk to them, or,
Well, if they're gonna get going, we better make a decision tonight, because it isn't gonna stay like this, you know, in the cold weather. Would you rather wait, is it cheaper if you wait, is that what you're saying?
It's $2,500 savings if we wait to have it put up next year.
Why is that?
They don't need it, I mean, do they need it this year?
I can't
No.
tell you
Right.
for sure, but.
Well, if necessary, we could have a special meeting, you know, to approve it.
Yeah, I would like to know what they, like what equipment they want and if it's needed this year, or if we could
Right.
hold off till next year.
So,
Let's just take
We'll table it.
so we can, yeah, we'll table that for now, and the I don't think we have anything from the fire department, or did you have anything, Joan, that you wanted to add on the budget or anything?
No.
Okay. Okay. So we'll move on, nothing under old business, new business, we'll move on to approve the interfund transfer per spreadsheet to, pay for our, 2013 and 2017 bonds.
This is just a yearly transfer we do. It's, in our water and sewer funds. We just transfer it to, a separate fund for the auditors, and that's what our bonds are paid out of.
I'll make the motion to approve the transfer of funds for the 2013 and 2017 bonds.
I'll second that.
So I have a motion from Councilman Tave to approve the transfer of funds for the 2013, 2017 bonds from water and sewer, seconded by Councilwoman Hanson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next on the agenda is the decision on subdividing parcel number 27-0538-000 at 415 East Second Street in Starbuck, which is what we had the public hearing on. Hearing no opposition, I don't know if somebody would like to make the motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion to approve the subdivision of parcel 27-0538-000.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I can second that.
Okay. So I have a motion by Councilman Tave to approve the subdivision of parcel 27-0538-000, seconded by Councilwoman Hanson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next on the agenda is to discuss a draft of the ordinance for sales of THC products in Starbuck. And there was the draft was in your council materials. Is there any discussion or questions on that?
Is there, let's see. Page 4. Letter C, the legal description and street address. They have in here, nearest place of worship and school. I know we have some daycare facilities in town.
Yeah, it does that's a question I had too, because it does mention daycare under subdivision 2, under definitions, under schools, number 13. It says, or a state licensed daycare provider.
Okay.
And I don't know if our daycares are state licensed or not, or
Most of them are.
most of them are, that I would assume they are,
Okay.
They want any money.
yeah. But then if you go back to, further back at, let's see, under subdivision 4, number 2, grounds for denial, under item I, it says proposed licensed premises located within 300 feet of any school or addiction recovery center, but it doesn't mention daycares.
Right.
So I would, suggest we have that added in or deleted. So, okay,
Just have it added in for clarification.
Right, so there's no question.
did anybody have any discussion or questions or ideas on the administrative penalties or the license fee or anything like that?
It was suggested it be the same as our liquor license fees, so,
And following kind of the same rules, right? As
Oh,
the
yeah.
liquor license, I mean, it looks like it's kind of the.
kind of the same idea.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it would be a $2,000 fee as the liquor license stands currently.
Would the city get that full license fee?
Yes.
Okay, because do you get the full liquor license fee?
Well, do we have to pay the state back anything? Yeah, we get it all.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and the other, in addition to the license fee, there's some civil penalties and I think a $500 background check. And I don't know, Mitch, if you've seen
I haven't
this,
seen it, I haven't seen that at all, no, I haven't, but, I
Okay.
mean, it's generally like the licensing guys, and like, yeah, is there anything regarding like how many people can sell in town?
it doesn't
No.
look like it sets a limit on it right now. The draft doesn't, so.
But there's places that can't, like liquor stores.
Yeah,
and-
well,
Yeah.
municipal liquor
Right, and
stores,
it can't be a mobile unit.
it can't be mobile,
Right.
but, yeah, any other,
It does list off-sale liquor places as prohibited,
Right, no restaurants.
no restaurants, and so forth, so.
I mean, so, yeah, yeah, the Casey's or Bait Shop or Dan's, Pepper Dan's, and then they can all technically sell. Is what I understand.
It does have to be an established business with a fixed, address and location and so
Yeah, it can't be
forth,
mobile.
so.
What,
So they
what
come
is,
here
what
and
is, what is
apply.
what is the stipulation on that for enforcing it besides? Is there anything in that about enforcing
Yeah,
it?
it's the administrative civil penalties. First violation, $100, second violation, 2, third violation, 3, so nothing huge. I know you have said it would be almost impossible to enforce.
That'd be under,
That would be a whole different
yeah,
thing.
that's
Okay.
the problem, yeah.
Now,
I
if
just
it's,
wanna make sure, cause the
if it's
problem,
if it's that's what Joan just read was a fine against individuals that violate
I
anything.
guess, my,
But for the establishment or licensee, the penalties for first violation would be, $500 and, suspension of their license for at least 2 days. Second violation, 1,000 and a suspension of not less than 5 consecutive business
Oh, yeah.
days. Third violation, $2,000 and, revoke their license for
I guess my, I'll just come up with
36 months.
My question is because as it stands now, if you were to run across, we were to run across and someone's selling and you're without a license, which is, that would be the fine, so as long as that is understandable, is it, they got the hemp in there and the percentage of what they can sell and all that stuff's in there?
Yeah, and it has to be packaged,
Yeah.
It does
to
say
meet the
So-
state standards.
Yeah.
and so
Say
forth.
5 milligram,
So
up
the-
to 50.
Yeah, so just to let you know, even though, so if they pass that license, that's fine, that ordinance, that's just prohibiting sell. But they do start selling it, and then they start doing the illegal stuff, there's no way for us to test that. So we're really, our hands are tied. There's no way, the BCA doesn't test for it, unless you wanna hire an outside company, but there's no way to test the hemp or how much levels they're at.
So
Or
if
did-
we're
and there's
set
no-
at
and there's-
5 and they're selling 10, then.
And there's no guidelines of how do we were supposed to investigate this stuff.
Sure.
So.
Right.
No, we don't need it, and this piece just covers the licensing, so if they want to sell, they have to go through you, but if they start selling illegal things, like different, the enforcement piece right now is,
Right, because all the
Yeah.
law is edibles and drinkables.
there's no way for us to test, we can't even confiscate it, because we don't even know, we can't even test for it. I don't even know if am I confiscating legal stuff or illegal stuff. because we can't even test for it.
I think if it's not properly packaged or something,
Yeah, that's the problem, but
that's a violation,
there's no guidelines on even what the packaging is supposed to look like. So we don't even know that.
There is a, state law requires product identification of purchasers, what is it?
Yeah,
Certain potencies.
the problem is what they're doing is that they're, illegally what they're doing is they're putting them in these packages, and they're putting the higher stuff in there, and you don't know that.
Oh, so it's labeled wrong.
Yeah.
They're mislabeling it.
Yes.
Of course they are.
And there's nothing that we can do, there's nothing, so we can't take the gummy out and test it, because there's no way to test it.
Right.
It's a mess.
Yeah, so this is basically strictly a license.
Just, that's strictly license, just to,
Or at least until the state gets its stuff together?
yeah, it's a loophole that they put in there, and,
But if
yeah.
you don't at least have some kind of something on the books, then somebody's gonna come in and set up and not have no regulation.
Right, and then you have no ordinance,
No.
and no
Yeah,
guidelines,
this will at
and
least
no
regulate who
protection.
can have a license.
Right.
So you just don't have people walking around selling gummies.
and I think that's a good point, you know, if we don't have something, anybody can do anything, they
Yeah.
can sell it out of
So we
their,
don't have an ordinance.
Problem,
their
the
car.
problem if someone's selling gummies, is that we still can't do anything, because there's no law, nothing against it. It's legal right now. They're legal besides,
no, but I mean,
yeah, they'd have to have a license. You could go after them for the license piece for not selling with a license.
yeah, and I mean, they can't sell it out of a
Right, and with a
mobile
license,
unit.
they need a backup check or a background check, and so.
Yep,
So all you can do is run them out of town and sell
Right.
them on the car.
yeah, I'm telling you, there's nothing that we can do.
So if someone comes here.
That's what they passed.
Do we,
It's so new
do we
that,
say no, we're not gonna license you?
they shoved it on.
Probably not, if
Uh,
they pass the background check and stuff.
I'd say you'd almost wanna approve this, at least you got something in play.
Yeah.
So you got some kind of starting from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we would wanna pass this with some clarification with adding the daycare in there.
You know, I would like, Chief Johnson to review it and give some input from his perspective, and,
Right.
the other thing I was gonna mention is,
Holy crap, that'd just be a whole nother job for every city.
oh,
The compliance check, so as the city.
if I can remember now what I was gonna say.
So would this allow, not that the brewery would do it, but a lot of breweries are starting to make seltzer with THC in it?
What are you talking about,
If they
breweries?
got a
Yeah,
license
breweries
for it.
are, the
That's-
day after it passed, breweries are making
Yeah,
seltzers with THC.
It hasn't been clarified yet, so some of the breweries are not, they're gonna wait until the legislature clarifies it.
Okay,
Other ones are going ahead and so forth, so,
see what happens.
so.
Wow, what a crazy mess.
The other thing I was gonna mention is zoning, you know,
Yeah.
whether we wanna restrict it to a certain, zone in the city.
I would say if we're zoning it, to zone it in a business district, so that way we don't end up with something back in somebody's house and it could easily
Right.
go the wrong way.
Yep,
I agree. I think it should just be in the, highway business district,
yep. I do too, where it's visible.
so.
I don't know if it says anything, I haven't read it yet, but, a lot of this it's from hemp, it's not the THC, it's supposed to be coming from the hemp. And you can't grab it from THC, like from a marijuana plant, it's gotta come from the
Right.
hemp product.
Right.
So I don't know if that's in here, but, I always use THC, but.
I did see the word hemp a couple times,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah, and that's,
I don't think I read marijuana in
no.
any of this.
Well, there's marijuana in here too,
Was
that
there?
they mentioned. Yeah, the sale of anything or possession of anything illegal, that would revoke a license right there, or whatever, so.
The only problem is proving that it's illegal.
Well, it's pretty, it's, it's up to the council to make a decision, and if they want to, protest that decision, then they can. And, you know, if the council still decides against them, then they can go to, the state, what is it,
So, Joan, this
Other-
on-sale liquor licenses, would that be the brewers, right?
Well, brewery has a separate brewery
License, okay.
license, but.
Because I was gonna say the liquor license, it says no license shall be issued to the holder of an on-sale beer, wine, or liquor license. But that's different than a.
Problem, underneath this, so you're just talking about gummies now what they're bringing the THC into a.
Right, because we get into the liquids too, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I haven't read this, but that's a whole.
Yeah, edibles and drinkables is what,
Yeah.
I guess this is.
yeah. The other thing, I'd just like to remind everybody that, you know, if this were to come up for a vote, we'd have to have a public hearing first, right, Joan? There'd have to be a public hearing on this
Because this will be a new
ordinance.
ordinance that we'll be
So-
adding.
So,
This is just
So-
a draft to get back to the attorney with how we might want to customize it for Starbucks.
and
Have
Or-
you had anyone inquire to open
No.
up a shop?
our,
Not yet.
And if they were, do they have to wait till the ordinance is done?
No, I mean, I don't know. I guess that we call our attorney and ask her,
Right now,
so,
they can,
yeah.
without anything, they can just.
But once the ordinance comes into play,
Then
and
they
if
have
they're not
rules.
complying, then they'd have to change. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
thank you.
I-
Quit asking questions.
I should mention that our city attorney, this is a draft that also is under consideration in Alexandria and Parker's Prairie, and I'm not sure if there's any other cities or not.
Those are the
but,
only two he's mentioned.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, people, cities are doing their moratoriums or they're doing the ordinance, so.
Do you know if Glenwood or any of the other cities have looked at this at all?
I believe Glenwood's not touching it.
Nope.
Glenwood's not gonna do anything with it.
Alex did a moratorium?
so anybody could sell in Glenwood then? Out of their car or van or
They're not,
out of their-
from my understanding right now.
out of their residence or anything?
As long as
There's no rules.
it's the legal stuff, yeah.
So,
So long as it's packaged correctly,
Well-
so it says that it's.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Stickers, I bet you could just run them off your
Well-
computer, like, you know.
this is gonna deserve a lot more discussion, and, I guess I would make a motion that, we make the changes to the draft that we discussed and perhaps set a public hearing for later.
I'd second that.
Okay. So we have a motion, by myself and seconded by Councilman Tafe to, make the changes to the draft and, send it back to our attorney, for any, comments he may have on our suggestions, and, we'll pursue it from there, so.
So just to
So-
clarify, you want to have the license fees be the same as the liquor license and sold only in the highway business district?
And then to clarify the daycare facility.
Yeah, to do that.
The 300 feet, so. So,
Do it now, Mary, there isn't any licensing.
There's your retirement, Mary.
Save you some ching right there, man.
so
Yeah, this is gonna be great stuff.
So we're going to move on to, next item on the agenda is to approve Resolution 2022-16, which is a preliminary 2023 budget and tax levy. And I think it's in your packet. So I don't know if there's any questions or discussion on that, otherwise I'll entertain a motion.
What's that? I'll make the motion to, adopt the resolution 2022-16.
Okay. Do I have a second? Okay. So I have a motion by Councilman Tafe to approve Resolution 2022-16, which is the adopting the preliminary 2022 tax levy, seconded by Councilwoman Balko. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is to approve Resolution 2022-17 to accept a donation from the Starbuck Men's Auxiliary for new signs for the Starbuck Beach. That also includes rafts and slides also.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2022-17.
I'll second that.
Okay. I just wanted to add that from what's in your packet, the total for the platforms is incorrect. It should be 7236 instead of 6585. So I don't know if that affects your motions or second.
No, I keep my motion.
I'll stay mine.
Okay. Okay, if there's no other discussion, all in favor of approving Resolution 2022-17, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is to approve Resolution 2022-18 to urge the Minnesota Legislature to convene a special session to pass a bonding and a tax bill increasing our local government aid, which wasn't done during the regular session. So this would just be shared with the legislature.
I'll make a resolution to urge a special session to pass a bonding and tax bill, increasing local government aid, resolution number 2022-18.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilwoman Hanson to approve Resolution 2022-18, urging a special session to pass a bonding and tax bill, increasing local government aid. Seconded by Councilman Tafe. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next and last item on the agenda is League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Liability Waiver for 2023, approving not waiving our liability limits. This is something we have to do annually so that we have limits on our liability for our insurance. And it's something that's good for the city. So.
I'll make the motion to approve the League of Minnesota Cities liability coverage waiver.
Okay.
I'll second that as a do not waive,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Do not waive.
Correct.
Great.
Okay.
So, I have a motion by Councilman Tafe to approve the liability waiver for 2023, not waiving liability limits, seconded by Councilwoman Hanson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And I believe that does it for this meeting, so. So if I have a motion to adjourn, we will be adjourned.
I'll make the motion that we adjourn.
I have a motion by Councilman Tafe to adjourn the meeting, so we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.